sloks that they received, then they wrote them down later on, and then they start writing from those experience that they received, from the knowledge they received and all that. And Yashovijayji was a scholar type. Good morning. He wrote more for learned people, more higher level people, and Vinay Vijayji wrote in a mass, for average people. So
they both wrote for 700 and 500.
They wrote down, yeah. But from them, after that, they wrote so many books.
All night.
And one of the books that Vinay Vijayji wrote was Shanta Sudaras. So, and it was written about 700, 1200, year 1200 or something like that. So about 700-year-old book.
But it's not pertaining to the book that they learned.
No, but it was basically
pertaining to
based
the
on the
shlokas.
knowledge from that book.
So, yeah, knowledge
it's-
from that shlokas.
Yeah, from those slokas. So it was like an abridged version of that book. Yes, that original Guru did not want to share. So that is the origin of Shanta Sudaras.
But for every knowledge to really propagate into mass, a interpreter is required.
Of course, an interpreter.
It will never happen without
It will never
that.
happen. Yeah, an interpreter who actually has lived, then it has
Exactly.
spread. Talking about it, it does not do any good.
It's a beginning, actually. Talking is a mental preparation.
But the real life scenario is another story. So these people lived like that, So it's an amazing how it came about. And all that. And the Shant Sudaras is, Sudha means Amrut, Ras is the ras of the
Juice.
extract, the juice, and the Shant. So there are so many ras we all have. We have Krodh ras, we have Kapat ras, we have War ras. Like all this in when you play drama, all these ras are there and you get involved yourself into that. But all those ras, you cannot be in that state forever. You cannot be in a Krodh ras forever. You cannot be in a Prem ras forever. But Shant ras, you can be all the time. So Shant is the state of mind. That is the ultimate goal of everybody. Because everybody wants to be happy. And Shanti is something that everybody is looking for. And that is the goal of the Shanta Sudaras. We have 65 tapes to go. So it will be a long journey.
Each tape 1.5 hour?
At least.
At least.
But we cannot finish 1.5 hours the whole tape in, because I'm sure a lot of things will come along the way.
Yeah.
So we have a long journey, but it's the journey that counts.
They spend their life, right? And we
Oh,
are
yeah.
completing in 65 days.
Exactly. Because Jain Chandra Maharaj was the orator of these tapes, and he's based in Tithal in Gujarat. He's still there, and they have their own ashram there and all that. And they, how Jain Munis, they do Chamasu. For 4 months, they don't travel anywhere. Because normally they travel on feet everywhere. But for 4 months of monsoon, because there are so many bugs around, they don't want to kill the bugs. So
Right.
they stay at one spot. That's when we receive the knowledge of these great souls, So that's how, so one of the lectures series was during those 4 months. And that's how we got the tapes through Vijay Bhai. So I thought this was a perfect...
I'm just an instrument.
Right,
Somebody
so you
else
all are.
gifted. Somebody
This is
else
for,
gifted me.
One Chomasu, these tapes were
Yeah,
made.
it was like 4 months basically. So they finished 65 lectures in 4 months. It was in Bombay actually. So the first verse of the Shanta Sudaras says that I am bowing down to the Tirthankars whose karuna has been flowing through the ages in the form of their speech. Because Tirthankars had reached a perfect state. They didn't have to do anything else. For themselves, they had done everything that was needed, and they were not going to be born again. But unless they spoke, we would not know what was in their mind. So once they spoke, that's how we could receive that state of mind, what it means, what is the basic essence of life, what are the truths of life, and how to solve the problems of life. If they didn't speak, we wouldn't have no knowledge. So they say, first we have to start by bowing down to those Tirthankars, whose great speech and knowledge has really been flowing for all these years. And that has caused salvation for so many souls. And it's going to keep doing it, because it just keeps flowing. So bowing down is the main root of spirituality. When you bow down, first thing you do is give up your ego. And ego is not just egoism, ego is your identification. your identification of any kind is gonna bound you to the ego. The ego really has no place, no meaning, no value. It's totally impractical. But if you live in a material world, that's all you see. Everywhere you go around, that's all you see is ego. And when it comes to spirituality, ego is totally useless. So when
It's
you,
an obstacle actually.
it's an
Negative
obstacle,
value.
of course. Until you remove your ego, you cannot reach the consciousness. To reach the consciousness, ego has to be removed. Because removing ego, annihilating completely, 100%, to be steady in consciousness. I did this, I am this, I am that. All those things are all part of your identifications. And I like this, I don't like this, I like him, I don't like him, I like her, I don't like her. All those likes and dislikes are the dvans. So when you have a nirdvand state, means non-dual state, that's the samadhi. Now, the oxymoron is you should not be trying to remove the ego either. Because when you're trying, you're saying that I am trying to remove this ego. So that is ego by itself.
Right.
So it's a very, very delicate balance.
Once again, it is non-doing which will
It's a
remove
non-
the ego.
Exactly. So bowing down is a total surrender. And you don't say at that time that I am bowing down. I am bowing down because there is nothing else I can do against such a great almighty God. What else can you do?
Right.
You just surrender. Total surrender is the way. Not surrender even to the point that I am surrendering. Just surrender. That's it.
Surrender.
And that's where the journey starts.
Is
So
that possible in this material world? Is that possible all this?
Absolutely possible.
it's not. It has nothing to do with the world. It has everything to do with your state of mind. The world could be anything. You could be in the middle of a jungle and you could be thinking of the whole world and you may not be reach samadhi. You could be in the middle of
City, yeah.
Columbus, some city, Manhattan, and you can reach samadhi. It's all state of your mind.
Just now in that on the web, they posted the picture. In Montreal, there were like riots, and somebody.
Oh yeah, they love it.
Yeah, and they are showing the love
kiss,
scene.
The kiss.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they're showing like they are depicting that even in riots you
Right,
can
right, right.
propagate the message of love.
Sure, of course, yeah. I had seen one movie, Life is Beautiful. Was it Life is Beautiful? There was one movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it was not that movie, but it was like a total destruction during the Nazis in the Second World War.
Yeah, that's
Like-
Life is Beautiful.
No, I know it was about that, but there was another movie from that also, based on the Second World War. But and the guy is going through the ravages that the Nazis have destroyed the whole thing, and all the buildings are down. There is not a life, and all of a sudden he starts hearing a piano. A beautiful piece of piano somebody's playing,
Right,
and everything is shattered. Only the piano has survived, and one girl is sitting and playing piano.
right,
It was so touching, very moving.
right.
So it's again the state of your mind.
right.
So you don't have to go anywhere. You have to look at the world in a different way. That's it. So it's a changing going inside, but that can happen only if you go inside. If you keep staying outside and looking for all this tabij and this and that mantras and bhasmas and all, it's not going to happen.
Right.
It's your state of mind that you have to adjust to. And so final culmination of the whole thing, like I said, when you give up your ego, don't say, I am giving up the ego. I am surrendering. You may do it in the beginning. So initial efforts are your effort driven, of course. But at some point it will come to that, what is me? I am nothing. So at that point, the only thing that is left is God's grace. And without God's grace, it's not going to happen. Until then, you just have to have faith and keep on trying. And faith and ego are two extreme opposites, right? Because when you have ego, that means you believe in yourself as a small jivatma. Then you don't have faith in the Paramatma. Because when you say, then you're still alive as individual. I is still alive. But when that I is still alive, you cannot reach Paramatma. So it's a very delicate type of situation. So that's why when you say I, you're limiting yourself to a physical body, which is 5 foot 5 inches or hopefully more, but not much. But things like that. You're limited.
Right.
And from limited, you want to reach the infinite. And faith is unlimited. Because faith is
Faith.
unlimited. It's totally unconditional, unlimited love. And that state of mind, until you develop, you cannot reach the samadhi, the dhyana. So you do see the sparks of this though. In the logical world, we live by logic. I always live by logic. And we were just, me and Deepak were talking about this morning. He says, there is like love of mother for the son. I mean, you sometimes see it. It's like boundless.
Right.
No matter what he does,
Yeah.
he's my son.
Right.
Whatever he does, it's okay.
Right.
And there is no limit. There is no limit. Whatever. I was just giving an example. My son, we went on trip to Spain and France.
Right.
So my wife was buying things for my son. I said, yeah, but he doesn't care. Doesn't matter.
She was so
I'm
bad.
buying.
She was so
Doesn't
bad.
matter. I said, he's gonna get angry. That's okay. But I have to buy because I want to express my love. That's her way of expressing love.
Right.
Who am I to interfere? That's
Right.
not the point. The
Right.
point is, she was ready to have confrontation with my son to the point that he might get angry and be. But doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
He's going to get it.
He's
Right.
gonna get it no matter what. So she's like so psyched up that for him nothing else matters.
Right.
And
Emotional.
that's unlimited love. It's like that kind of spurts we do see, and we have to pick up that. And then little by little you start seeing those things. And even in the nature you see like how like the birds will defend their eggs. A lot of times we go for jogging, we run, the huge hawk has been chased by a tiny sparrow. What is a tiny sparrow can do, against the huge hawk? The hawk has to go. It's the mother. Mother in that tiny sparrow is trying to push that hawk away so that he doesn't grab the eggs.
The eggs, I
So
see.
these are the flickers of God's unlimited, unbounded love. So that is we want to reach, and the only way you can reach is first you have to have shanti inside you. Until you become shant inside, you're not going to be able to realize the bounty of God. And to realize that, so that is the first step, is to become shant. Now I know we went through the Aparokshanupati, is where we dissected the whole thing, the philosophy, and it is all nothing but consciousness, and whatever our mind goes to, that is also consciousness. And we argued, and space is a creation, time is, it's all philosophy. But now these are the practical pointers. So Jinchandra Maharaj, and based on that book, of course, Yasho Vijayji and Vinay Vijayji's book, there are 16 bhavs that they're talking about. Shant Sudaras is to reach that steady state of Shanti. There are 16 bhavs they're talking about. This is a bhav granth. It's not a granth you can just talk and discuss and measure, and this has nothing to do with that.
Bhav means aspects.
Bhav, I'll tell you.
Feelings.
Bhav
Yeah.
is at the intellect level. At the highest intellect level, you have bhavs. Bhav creates vichar, and vichar generates kriya.
Oh, vichar. Oh,
Bhav, vichar, and kriya. So it's the feelings, thoughts, and action.
so like five. Bhav is an inspiration.
Right.
If you want to translate
Kind of.
in English.
It's a firm belief. Let's put it this way. I'll give you an example. One of the bhav is anitya bhav. Say anitya bhav. Nitya means something temporary. Anitya means something not. Nitya is permanent. Anitya is something not permanent. It's a temporary. So first bhav they're talking about, which will come later, is anitya bhavana. So you have to create and not just read, but brood, think about it, and digest it, and make it a firm belief that whatever you see is anitya. So at that time, and that's a tool, it's like an emergency toolbox. So whenever any bhavana, and there are 16 of this, that anytime whatever bhavana is needed, you use it, but you have that available, that you have sharpened that knowledge, and you have made into a firm belief that yes, I believe that whatever I see is anitya. You have a conflict with someone. Well, conflict is going to end one of these days. So that gives you a moral boost.
Right.
While you're suffering, whatever I'm going through is not going to last long. At the same time, when you have a lot of money and you're having a really good time, you should remember that is also
gonna
going to
go
pass.
also.
So I'm just giving an example. So one of the bhavana. So once you have that bhav, your thoughts will be based on that bhavana. So it's like mother cooking for son. At the same time, some guests come that are totally unexpected. Now see the difference. One weekend was the unwanted and
Yes.
her guest arriving, and husband says, "Come on, you have to cook." Come on, I said, a little more salt goes in there, and a little less sugar goes in there, and oh my God, these people, I don't even like them, this and that. But as soon as the son calls, say, "Mom, I'm coming over." "Okay, beta, no problem." Same food,
Right.
but cooked with a different bow,
Right.
generates different thoughts,
Right.
and the action is conducted. So the outside, the action may be the same. Maybe the food comes out same for both, but the bhavana is totally different.
One of the reasons not to go outside to have food. in
Right.
restaurant.
In restaurant, right? Yeah, because there is no
Because
bhavana.
it's a job, yeah.
It's a job.
We don't know what the bhavana the cook has.
Absolutely.
Because he's working, he's
Yeah,
doing it for money.
Right.
He's doing it for money. He's doing with that bow.
Right,
Still
right.
has a bow
Exactly, yeah.
behind it. But
And those things do get transferred. That's what
Yeah,
Rajneesh
yeah,
was giving in one of the tapes. He was an example that one guy was like so worried somehow one day. And
लोन चुकाना है
what's that?
लोन चुकाना है
Loan chukana hai. And they say, "You guys are making so much money, small loans, this doesn't really matter." This and yeah, but loan chukana hai. He wakes up and he says, "Why am I worried about it? These guys are very well-to-do family, and we have so much money, and we have a lot of balance, and we can take care of minor things, not a big deal." This and he says, "What happened?" So he goes to the psychiatrist. He says, "I don't understand. I have this kind of feeling that
Dreams.
So yeah, the dreams, yeah, something like that." So he says, "All right, let's analyze it." So the analyst goes over. He says, "How do you eat and what do you eat and this and that?" He says, "Yeah, but who is your cook and this and that?" So finally it boils down. So they call the cook, and he says, "I said, are you having any problems?" "Yeah, हमको लोन चुकाना है. पैसा बहुत मिलता नहीं है जॉब में से." So the cook was having thoughts. They were transferred through the food into him. So all these subtle things play part. Sometimes we don't even realize. We don't have time to realize. We don't even have time to think about all these things.
Right.
But those things do matter. And the same thing, when the animals are killed, all those emotions
Wow.
are transferred
Yeah.
through the food and through the non-vegetarian food and all those things. So that's why there is so much commotion in the world and there is so much imbalance. So basically, it's the removing the ego is really the ultimate, is the first step that will take us towards that. So ego meaning what? What is the ego? Is identification, as we know. That as soon as I say I'm Shrenik, you are not. So there is a difference. There is a distinction. The wall is created between you and me. I haven't even started judging you yet, but that's the next step. That you are like this, I am like this. Short, tall, color changes, this and that, knowledge changes, ideas changes. All those things are different. As soon as I am American, you are not. I am Jain, you are not. So the distinction starts. The ego plays on the duality. So it's the duality that feeds the ego, right? So there was a story of the Zen monk. So they had there was a student. He says, "I want to learn from you all the total knowledge that you have." And this guy has been monk for so many years. So I want to learn from you. He says, "How do you clap with one hand?" He says, "What? I don't understand." He says, "Find out how to make a noise with just one hand." And the guy's thinking, I said, what kind of, I'm coming here for spiritual knowledge and he's asking me all these crazy questions. So, and anything in the nature, if you see something that just happens by itself, a noise or something. So he thinks and thinks and thinks and he cannot come up with any answer. So one day he comes back, he says, "Yeah, I got the answer. How about that noise that came from the clouds?" So he beats him up. He says, "What did I do?" He says, "Pagal, there's the two clouds. They
collide.
banging against each other. That's how the noise is created. That's not just a single cloud making noise. So go home. Do your homework again. Come back when you have an answer." Now this guy is frustrated. He cannot come with an answer. So he asks another student who had been with the monk for a while. He says, "How did you go through this thing? This is my initial and looks now I'm failing already."
Yeah.
He says, "Well, this is what happened. He harassed me for 3 years. Same question. He kept on asking me. Every time I went back, he kept me asking the same question. 3 years. At the end of 3 years, I was so fed up. I went to him and I exhausted all of him. And the next time he asked me the same question, "How do you clap with one hand?" So then I couldn't take it anymore. I just collapsed. That's when he says, okay, beta, come on, get up. Your training will start. When you cannot have answer anywhere else, you give up your ego, because that's the duality. When you give up your ego, that's where your training will start.
When you admit your failure.
Exactly. He said, I cannot have all the answers from this material world. So he told him, he said, this is what happened with me. So this guy goes back. He says, again 2-3 years later, so he goes there and he says, did you get the answer? How do you clap with one hand? So the guy did this. So he got another danda. He said, why? He said, what did I do? He said, you gave that other student started the training, he's already so advanced. I gave the same answer. He says, you copied the answer.
That's what.
I said, when murda गिरते हैं तो तकिया देख के नहीं गिरते हैं.
Good one.
So that guy really had collapsed because he had tried exhausted. You're faking it. Another danda. Go back another 3 years. So that's how it starts. So the duality never gives you an answer. And yet we need the duality. How do you reconcile? Duality is a fact of life. Yet we have to function.
Right.
So you try to find the solution in this world, it's just not going to come. The world is always full of duality. It always will be full of dualities. Removing the dualities from this world is also not practical, because until the duality is set up, there is no stress. If you remember the lecture that Dr. Deshmukh gave, what is life? Right? Life is the spirit, the matter, and the stress between the two. That interaction, the karmic stress, it generates the life. That's Leela. God had intended it to be
So
that way.
without stress, there is
Without
no life.
stress, there is no life.
Right.
The stress is like, I was giving an example, how, you know how they do the plumbers, do the soldering and everything?
Yeah.
Where they put the two pipes together and they scrape it
Right.
with the metal wire,
Right.
and then they put a glue. The glue alone does not stick the plastic
It
pipes
slips out.
actually.
Right.
Yeah,
So you have to
slips.
create the grooves,
Right.
and then there is a bond, because you're increasing the surface area for the glue to stick to each other. So that stress, that create the friction, the interaction between the two material is the Leela. And that was the whole purpose. How do you remove the thing that you like and not link like what you like? And duality cannot be avoided, cannot be stopped, cannot be, cannot make it disappear either. If you make the duality disappear, the world stops functioning. Then there is no stress left for the life to function. So Rajneesh was giving an example. He says, imagine Ram Leela without Ravan.
Right. Right.
If Ravan wasn't there, Ram would never had a chance to express himself as a Ram. Ram is Ram because of Ravan.
Right.
Right? So just think about that. If there is no Ravan, Ram और सीता और लक्ष्मण बैठे हैं, क्या करेंगे?
Right.
बीड़ी पीते हैं, कुछ करने का तो है ही नहीं।
They'll collect.
धनुष लगाना किसको लगाए?
No, they'll collect unemployment
Right,
benefits.
exactly. And the people will say, come on, लीला start करो. कि भाई रामलीला start करो. ये रामलीला नहीं है, रावण लीला है. It's all about Ravan. So bad and good is a duality that makes the world go around. Have a perfect world and have no, bad images that you hate. So come out of that good and bad and all that. The only time you come out of all these things when you think of singularity, the unity, the things that unify both the aspects of duality. That's when you sublimate your ego. The ego, when you go through the ego's, the state of duality, is always going to select. But that's at the ego level. So when you transcend the ego, transcend the mind, that's when you go into the infinite of nothing but polarity. There is, it's not bipolarity, singularity. So that's the ultimate goal of the samadhi.